Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Tom Spark. Welcome back to another video. So guys, if you didn't know, I made the world's most accurate and objective real-time VPN speed test website. This website basically lets you test VPN speeds without paying for a subscription, so you could therefore pick the fastest one before even buying it. This is something no one else has ever tried to do because quite frankly, it was annoying, really annoying to set up. So unless you're a nerd like me, you probably wouldn't be watching this channel. So let's go ahead and nerd out. How the hell did I make this website and why was this so annoying to set up? Well, I've made a couple different blogs discussing this in detail, but basically what happened is I had to set up a remote server that was running these VPNs. This led me into multiple problems. For one, I kept getting locked out of the server because once the VPN connected, I couldn't see what was going on. This was extremely frustrating, so I then decided to use Docker. Docker is basically a kind of program that lets you kind of segment off different parts of your Linux platform and enable things to go on in those individual containers. That's what they're called. So I had the idea that I could run each of these VPNs in these different containers, and then they would run the speed tests. However, I also run into another issue is that each one of these containers running all the time was very resource intensive. I had to upgrade my server, and then I also ran into problems of it affecting the individual speeds. So I had to make a unique API to run that would kind of sequentially test each of these different VPNs. This gave me the best results, and that's where we are today. That said, that wasn't all of the issues. We also ran into tons of issues with Linux compatibility when it comes to VPNs. And now I have an article on my website discussing which are the best VPNs for Linux. Honestly, guys, having just a GUI isn't enough for Linux. I kind of always thought that meant the VPN supported Linux pretty well, but it turns out that is not really the case. This taught me a lot about Linux compatibility with VPNs and just overall how to set VPNs up on Linux. I just learned so much about it from this project, which is pretty cool. So guys, once I got all that kind of back end stuff figured out, doing the front end of the website and connecting to it was another task altogether. But I didn't stop there. I wanted to make cool gamification elements, kind of have little dopamine hits every time you do a speed test. And that's kind of what we achieved here on the website. Where the hell is my menu? Well, for some reason, the menu isn't showing up on computer, but you can see it on mobile. But basically, there's like you earn coins from doing speed tests, and you could buy little interface changes on the website, which I thought was pretty cool. Outside of that, the core meat of the project I do think is extremely valuable for the end consumer. What does it do? Well, basically, like I said, it lets you test the VPN, and I've ranked them based on the individual results. We also ran into issues, like I said, with so many VPNs running all the time, affecting speed results. So I've kind of implemented a system where basically the VPNs that perform the best are going to be running more often. VPNs that did not perform as well will not be running as often, since there's not really much point to just keep running a slower VPN over and over and over. So there you go. I just did a speed test right there. 294, pretty good for Nord. And even has cool little tips here to keep you busy while you're waiting. I had to implement this timer because, like I said, some of these things kind of get overloaded with the testing. I have a couple links here to join the Discord, check out my incognito review, etc., etc. A little diagram here showing how the individual testing works. Let me go ahead and show you the gamification in a second, but there you go. So it's around a 30-second wait time. So we got around 294 with that one. Let's go ahead and try Express, see if it's working. Now I've had to implement a lot of changes here and there to kind of fix things. So if something's not working, please be patient, guys. So this is still kind of like in beta. This is my first time really developing something like this. I used a lot of AI tools to help me, but a lot of it was just a lot of work, honestly, probably 60 hours building this website. Learning the different kind of integrations and structures and things like that really was the challenging part. So as we could see, I can't remember what Nord was just a second ago, but yeah, the speed tests run really good. So go ahead and check it out. So far, Nord and Express seem to be leading the pack, which is kind of expected, but also kind of surprising. I didn't really expect ExpressVPN to do so well, and it might turn me to kind of look at it a little bit more closely in the future. I knew Nord was going to be fast because in all my speed tests, it's always been the fastest, but ExpressVPN, honestly, it kind of surprised me how good it is on Linux. It performed extremely well with in small container resources. So it's their lightweight protocol is open source, and it's extremely efficient in very limited containers, which is cool. It's probably the best resource use out of any of the VPNs, which is interesting because they're all using WireGuard for the most part, and ExpressVPN is the only one using their own kind of proprietary protocol. But I actually found it performed very well on Linux, especially with very limited capacity of resources. So if you're someone like that who that sounds good to you, you might want to check out ExpressVPN specifically, kind of for those reasons. But overall, guys, if you like this website, let me know down in the comments down below. Check it out, do a couple speed tests, share it with your friends. Click on some of the links on the website if you want to help to support the project. This project was not funded by any VPN. This channel is still independently run. Most of the other VPN review channels here on YouTube nowadays are actually owned by various VPNs, which is definitely hurting the channel. They have like 10 people making videos every single day. It's hard to compete nowadays, but if you value independently run projects like this, well, I need your support. Check the links in the description down below. Check out some of the links on the website. Let me know what you think of this one. Like, comment, share. Anything you could do, subscribe as well. That will really help the channel because lately we're kind of having a tough time competing with some of these other shills out there. So guys, let me know what you think of this one down in the comments down below, and I'll see you again very soon. Oh yeah, also, if you want to request VPNs to be added, I'm going to fix the menu up there. There should be a button that will kind of implement the menu back. So keep a lookout for that. Also, check out the Discord if you want to chat with me personally. I'm there every day.